Tensions in Gaza continue to escalate as Israeli leadership considers the possibility of a full-scale military occupation. On the diplomatic front, contradictions regarding the two-state solutions are becoming increasingly apparent among the involved parties. While the international community intensifies calls for peace initiatives, new statements and actions from Tel Aviv, Washington, and the Arab nations are creating significant shifts in the regional landscape. What are the latest developments? And what is the next step towards regional peace? Stay tuned with us for the latest news roundup.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu held a meeting with senior security officials on Tuesday, August 5, 2025. According to media reports, he is said to support the option of pursuing a full military occupation of the Gaza Strip.
These achievements, of course, are behind us, but it is still necessary to complete the defeat of the enemy in Gaza, to release all our hostages, to ensure that Gaza will no longer pose a threat to Israel. We are not giving up on any of these tasks. We will do it together through the great sacrifice of our male and female fighters.
Speaking to reporters about the issue, President Donald Trump declined to say whether he supports or opposes Israel's potential military occupation of Gaza. He added that the administration's focus is on increasing food access for the Palestinian region under attack by Washington's ally.
Thank you, Mr. President. Would you support Israel reoccupying all of Gaza, as has been suggested by some Israeli officials?
Well, I don't know what the suggestion is. I know that we are there now trying to get people fed. As you know, $60 million was given by the United States fairly recently to supply food, and a lot of food, frankly, for the people of Gaza that are obviously not doing too well with the food. And I know Israel is going to help us with that in terms of distribution and also money. We also have the Arab states are going to help us with that in terms of the money and possibly distribution. So that's what I'm focused on. As far as the rest of it, I really can't say. That's going to be pretty much up to Israel. Yeah, please.
Indirect negotiations between Hamas and Israel to secure a 60-day ceasefire in the Gaza conflict and a hostage release agreement ended in a deadlock last week. Hamas issued a statement refusing to abandon its right to armed resistance unless an independent, fully sovereign Palestinian state with Jerusalem as its capital is established. However, during a press conference on August 5th, Latvian President Edgars Rinkēvičs stated that recognizing a Palestinian state at this time would not positively contribute to resolving the ongoing situation. He noted the challenges surrounding the two-state solution, adding that while the current situation complicates the process, achieving such a solution remains a key political goal.
Edgars Rinkēvičs un Izraēlas valsts prezidenta Īzaka Hercoga preses konference pēc abu valstu delegāciju tikšanās. Vārds valsts prezidenta.
Our country's position has been formulated quite clearly, and considering that our country's leadership is united, the views of the President, the government, and the Parliament are similar in that we believe that recognizing a Palestinian state at this moment would not truly facilitate a radical solution to the situation in a positive direction.
Iebrukuma Ukrainā tā nav tik stingri vērsusies pret Maskavu, cik
Prezident kungs, ņemot vērā Francijas Savienotās
Unfortunately, the current situation makes it difficult to work on a two-state solution. It still needs to be a political goal. We also believe that such a unilateral recognition without a corresponding UN Security Council resolution, without the recognition of the relevant Security Council, would not truly facilitate a real normalization of the situation, and therefore, Latvia currently does not plan to take such steps.
שיתוף הפעולה על המחויבות לערכים משותפים של חירות. But the truth of the matter is, in order to realize a peace
between two nations, you have to have a real capability of delivering something which is viable. Right now, the Palestinian people are torn between two entities. One is controlled by the Palestinian Authority and one is by Hamas. And if you ask an Israeli, an average Israeli, does he believe it's feasible to get to a two-state solution, a solution with a peaceful neighbor, like I crossed the border today from Lithuania to Latvia easily? The answer will be no, because following October 7th, it was a wake-up call for many Israelis. This was a peaceful border which was shattered by a brutal terrorist organization which abducted, killed, burned, and raped our people.
This statement comes amid growing momentum for international recognition of a Palestinian state. France recently announced plans to do so in September, while the UK has indicated it may follow suit at the UN General Assembly unless Israel takes steps to address the Gaza crisis and advance peace efforts. From July 28th to 30th, a high-level international conference organized by the United Nations was held to address the Palestinian issue peacefully and implement the two-state solution. Over 125 speakers addressed the conference, emphasizing the urgency of concrete actions to advance the two-state solution. In an interview on the sidelines of the conference, Riyad Mansour, permanent observer of Palestine to the United Nations, stated that the two-state solution is a robust and impactful approach to resolving the Palestinian-Israeli issue. This contrasts with the view expressed by the Latvian president.
If it was hollow, then why would he fight and Israel fight so hard to tell countries not to recognize? It is not hollow. It is very powerful and very strong, and eventually it will contribute in forcing Israel to go along.
As of now, 147 out of 193 United Nations member states have recognized an independent Palestinian state. While largely symbolic, these declarations clearly reflect the international community's increasingly determined efforts to end the nearly two-year-long conflict in Gaza. However, this symbolic nature has created a systemic policy framework, coordinated and supported by many countries. With 4 out of 5 permanent members of the Security Council openly expressing their intent to recognize Palestine, Israel is increasingly in a dependent position. Since the change in leadership at the White House, the traditional alliance between Washington and Tel Aviv has become less stable, largely due to President Trump's somewhat unpredictable leadership style. The current situation is in a state of severe deadlock. The Israeli government, particularly under Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, has almost entirely abandoned the two-state model, which was once the cornerstone of the Middle East peace process. Meanwhile, the United States under President Trump has shown signs of retreating from its international role, a marked shift from Washington's decades-long foreign policy. Amid this bleak picture, a notable development has emerged: the rising role of Arab nations in reshaping the situation. For the first time, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Egypt, countries with significant influence on both Hamas and Israel, have jointly signed a United Nations resolution calling for Hamas to disarm and hand over control of Gaza to a transitional authority. This unprecedented step reflects a new consensus within the Arab world and an effort to end the nearly two-year-long conflict in Gaza.
About 500 civilians.
Amid strategic calculations and diplomatic disagreements, the people of Gaza continue to bear the heaviest losses. As the parties involved have yet to find common ground, a peaceful resolution remains a distant prospect. The regional situation stands at a critical juncture, where every choice carries profound consequences, not only for the Middle East, but also for the international community. We will continue to update you with the latest developments on the Israel-Hamas conflict. Thank you for your attention. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay updated with our upcoming videos.